Hello everyone, I'm Mark Snodgrass, and today I wanted to go over how I used a Domo and some AI and Magic ETL and the Python tile to eliminate a manual process I was doing to categorize different lists of codes into a common set. It was becoming quite tedious, and I now am able to automate that process and have a lot stronger list. It's more maintainable down the road. So let's get started. So this is the list that I was using to start. It was an Excel file that I would upload periodically, and you see it now. It was over 4,000 rows where I would get various coverage subtypes, what they're called, and I need to categorize it into a standard list. And over 2 million claims coming in, and so they would have a variety of subtypes, and it was becoming pretty unmanageable for me to maintain that list, check to see when new codes came in, and figure out what should be the standardized code for them. So I used some AI to help me with that, bring over my conversation I had with Copilot to start. So you see here, I started off by just asking it telling it that I was using Domo and that I wanted to automate the categorization of claims into common claim types. And I focused on my property line of coverage first as an example, and told how many I'm going to have, and then I want to limit it down to 15 types in there. And I also wanted to use not only the coverage subtype that was coming in, but also the loss cause. So that was giving me a little more strength into what the final category would be. So it's going to be an improvement over what I had initially, because I was only using the coverage type. So it fired back, did some visualizations, but ended up coming up with a Python script that I could put into Magic ETL, and it was a bit of back and forth in here. And I also used it to determine what 15 categories they should be. So I had to look at public entity, property insurance claims to help me come up with that list, rather than my own 15 names that I was thinking of. And kind of kept on improving on it back and forth here. Just had more and more conversations with it to get it kind of fine-tuned, so it wasn't just kind of one question and done. But I'll show you what it looked like in here. So this is my Magic ETL where I was doing the grouping. So I would take that unique set that currently the data set has, where I brought this in. So I've got my unique list of coverage subtypes and loss causes, and I just also brought in the number of claims and kind of total dollar value around those combinations, see if that was going to help me out for this process. And then what I did was split each coverage line into its own path, so then I could come up with the 15 categories that I wanted to use. And I'll see if I can bring this into something a little more. I'll just walk through it here. So I brought in the pandas package and some of their data science packages in here as well. And really this was all AI telling me how to write this script, because I'm not a Python expert at all. But using the coverage subtype and actually using it twice, as well as the loss cause, to put that in a text field that gives that type a bit more weight to it. And then these are the 15 categories that I came up with for property, and also here are kind of some keywords that it should be looking for in order to know, hey, is that something it should categorize? So in here, it's using that TF-IDF vectorization, which essentially turns that text into numbers. That helps the model then deal with it better, and can then know what categories should be. And then here's where I'm limiting it to 15 categories, and then using that k-means clustering to then try and do that fit. And then it just kind of goes through some more, does this cosine similarities, and just using, again, not an expert on these particular functions that are available in Python, but AI knew what should be used based on what I was describing that it should be doing. And then further down here, I do some essentially overriding. So I was just determining that, hey, if it was a hurricane and flood, then I should put it in flood damage. So just kind of really ensuring on some definite keywords that I get things in the proper category. So it's kind of some further working through that list and determining what it should be. So then I get down here this final claim category, and then it outputs the coverage subtype and that loss cause, and then what claim category it should be. So I do that for each line of coverage: property, auto liability, auto physical damage, law enforcement, public officials, general liability, so on. Each has their own Python script that look really similar, just different categories that I need to be using that I wanted to come up with at the end. And then I append them all back together. So then I get one final claim category list that I can then use in my main ETL here, where this used to be an Excel file upload that I showed you at the beginning and tried to join that. I now have this claim categorization. And one thing I do to help with the join is that I make a join string, I call it, where I'm taking the line of business and the coverage subtype and the loss cause and just putting them all as one string, and do that same here in my main primary claim data set, and do the same thing on that line of business and the coverage subtype and the loss cause. So then I just join on that, makes for a simple join statement here. And then I now have that claim categorization available to use here, and I actually just rename it to standard coverage subtype, replace what I used to be using. And now I have that as a standard claim category, where I've got just 15 for each coverage line of coverage. And now I don't have to monitor this anymore. I'll perhaps run it occasionally or something, but now I don't have to maintain a separate Excel file list. And it's eliminated a lot of manual work for myself and letting AI and Python do all the work for me. So I hope you found that helpful. Again, encourage you to use the AI to help you build this out. You could certainly pause the video and put in this code as a starter for you if you're doing something similar. But it should be pretty useful for you, be able to streamline some of your categorization work that you might be doing in yours. So, as always, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks a lot.